Little does this cyclist know that within about 90 seconds he's going to be knocked off his bike by a motorist who claims they used to be a police officer. I also, hand on heart, can't rule out that this wasn't done purposefully. The attitude of this motorist is truly shocking, but when I found out the investigating police officer said the car driver had no questions to answer, it blew my mind. Our cammer was a regular cyclist. In fact, this was part of his daily commute. The 21 miles each direction from Liverpool to Warrington and back every day was a little bit more reliable than the other forms of transport, and it was only 20 minutes more than it would take in a car. The junction that we're approaching, our cammer had had problems with previously, and it's the black Ford Fiesta behind that we should be watching. They have a little try at going past there, but our camera's in a good primary position holding his lane, but it seems as though this has triggered the ex-police officer behind. It was nice of that lady walking past to ask whether he was okay. And as normal, I am going to go over what the cyclist maybe could have done better or differently next time shortly. But for now, I'm just going to let the clip run, because the Fiesta driver has parked in across the other side.
Yeah, chips. Where are we going?
Round you carefully.
No, I was following a car. Well, I was in the middle of the road, stupid car.
No, don't call me names.
I will, thank you.
Don't call me
You're on
names.
video, right?
Good, well so are
You're going
you.
to be reported.
Good, well so are you.
You're on the back video.
So are you.
So you
I
want to
gave
know,
you
why do you
plenty
think I
of
was in the middle of the
time.
road?
You had
To
a
stop
bike
you
lane.
overtaking.
You had a bike lane that you weren't using.
The bike lane
Sorry.
had finished.
No, it didn't
Look, where
finish.
the
No,
bike
I've
lane-
got it on
no,
film.
listen,
I've got it on
the
film.
bike lane's got nothing to do
I've
with
got
it.
nothing to hide. I've got it all on film.
So have I.
And you're punching me card. I've got that as well.
Yeah, I
So
did the punch your car to try and get you to move back over.
No, that's not what you do. You use a bike lane when you've got a bike
No,
lane.
you don't.
Yes, you do.
There is no
That's
legal
what it's
requirement
for.
to use the bike lane.
Well, why aren't you using it?
There's no legal
Because you
requirement
like
to
to
use
be in
it.
the
I
middle
don't
of the
have
road.
to use the bike lane.
You're just being difficult. I've got you all
I'm
on
difficult.
camera.
You fucking hurt me.
punched
You
my-
bent the bike.
You punched my car.
I did
for no
because you were
reason.
coming over to the side.
I was nowhere near you. I've got it on
How
film.
can I punch your car if you're
You're
nowhere
being
near me?
difficult. You leaned over. I saw you. I've got it on camera. As soon as I knew you were being difficult, not using the bike lane. Not using the bike lane.
I don't have to use a bike lane.
Well, what's it there for?
The bike lane
Oh my
finishes.
God. Well, I've got it on
moved.
camera.
I was behind the
I'm gonna
car.
phone the
There's
police.
a car in front
What's
of
your
me.
name?
What's my name?
Do you want mine?
I've
Do
got
you
you
want
on
mine?
camera. Yeah,
Oh, right.
in fact, give
You haven't got a registration
me
for
your
you.
insurance
Oh,
details.
come on then. Insurance details, my God. Insurance is going to laugh at you, mate.
What do you think?
You did that yourself. You did it to yourself. That never touched my car. You did. You punched my car.
You pushed me over,
I didn't
and
push
to the
you
point where I was
over.
leaning
No.
over your car and I couldn't go
No, I
anywhere.
was nowhere near you. I've been driving for 35 years.
And it
I've
sounds
been
like you need to
driving-
get your licence again. How long do you think I've been driving for? Longer than 35 years. And I know when to stay clear of a bloody bike.
competition. It's not a competition.
Apparently
I'm
it
going
is.
to
Apparently
work.
according to you, I have to use a bike lane because you can't drive properly.
In fact, I'm not giving you my insurance details. I'll just take your name and your number.
No, I want your insurance details,
You're not
thank
having
you.
them. I don't
I think you'll find that I have a legal requirement to
you
get your
don't.
details.
No, you don't.
Actually, I
and I've
do.
got a legal requirement to refuse. There you go.
No, you don't.
No. I know my rights. I used to be a police officer, okay?
Well, if you were please put anything to do with the police, how come you don't know your rights?
Oh, did you? You're just out to make money, mate.
I'm not to make money.
So, okay.
I want my bike fixing.
No, I'm not fixing it. You broke it yourself.
Of I'll
drove
write your name
into
and
me.
address down
You
then.
drove in? No, not until you give me yours. You give me yours.
It was pretty obvious that the supposed ex-police officer was triggered by the cyclist not using the cycle lane. I'd just like to remind people that cyclists don't actually have to use the cycle lane. The cyclist for me was taking up a good primary position, and they should do this when there's not enough room for an overtake to actually deter cars from going past. I do also understand how positive the cyclist was trying to be by commanding the road space, but for me, I think he stayed out there probably a little too long. If he's in a situation where he's able to bang on a car's window, he should have really submitted a little sooner. And in any case, you can still command the situation by giving in and submitting, because you're still in charge of what happens. So why am I coming to the conclusion that the driver did this purposefully? Well, it's as soon as she opens her mouth, she starts to incriminate herself.
Where are we going?
Round you carefully.
No, I was following a car. Why was in the middle of the road, stupid car?
No.
She also wouldn't be a reliable witness because she states that the cycle lane wasn't being used, when in fact, if you have a look, it ends well before the collision.
You had a bike lane that you weren't using.
The bike
Sorry.
lane had finished.
No, it didn't
Look,
finish.
where the
No,
bike-
I've got it on
No,
film.
listen.
And in any case, it doesn't play any part in this incident. Like I've explained, the cyclist doesn't have to use it. She also states that she saw our cyclist punch the window on her car, which actually proves a couple of things for me. It proves she was aware of the cyclist and also his close proximity.
You bent the bike.
You punched my car.
I did
for no
because you were coming
reason.
over to the
I
side.
was nowhere near you. I've got it on
How
film.
can I punch your car if you're
You're
nowhere near
being
me?
difficult. You leaned over. I saw you. I've got it on camera.
The driver also showed zero remorse or care for the well-being of our cyclist. She'd just knocked him off and she was more interested in proving her point that he'd punched her window. Honestly?
Just so you know, there's a bike lane there that you won't use it. And I've got you on film. What are you doing? I was nowhere near your bike.
Our cyclist did suffer injuries from the collision. Apart from the soft tissue damage, which actually healed quite quickly, he also had a bleed on the lung, a bruised pancreas and a ruptured adrenal gland. That can be quite serious if not treated. The cyclist has unfortunately given up his daily commute, which is a shame. He feels as though it's probably a little too stressful and maybe a little too dangerous, and you can understand that from what's gone on. But he still thankfully rides for pleasure, but he just chooses when and where to go out and cycle. The driver's insurance originally took the stance of we hold your client, or the cyclist, fully responsible for this incident, but when they were shown the footage they did a complete U-turn and subsequently they then admitted full liability. So our cyclist's bike, which was damaged quite extensively, as you can see, he didn't have to shell out for. That's the result. In this final part of my analysis, I'm hopefully going to give everyone an idea of the police's involvement. Now, they were called to the scene, but straight from the off, they seemed to put the blame on our cyclist. Even before they'd seen any of the footage, while my camera was being loaded into the ambulance, a police officer approached them and actually said that no further charge was going to be brought against the driver. To make matters worse, this officer started to lecture our cyclist on not going through the lights in front of the path of a car. And even when this was challenged and our camera explained what went on, he said, well, cyclists should be moving out of the way and keeping out of the way for the cars. That story seems quite similar to the drivers, doesn't it? If we fast forward a couple of weeks, Our cyclist's soft tissue injuries were probably on the way to being healed, but he was understandably feeling a little disgruntled that no action was taken over the driver, so he made an official complaint via the IOPC website. Following this, the footage was sent to the police, and this all happened in October 2019, and I've actually been passed all of the correspondence after this, and it's quite shocking. The cut and shut of this is when it was looked into by a traffic sergeant, he concluded that the driver did give the cyclist enough space, and it was in fact the cyclist who accelerated into the driver's blind spot. I'm not having that. This was challenged clearly and technically correctly by our cyclists, who actually use references from the national standard of cycle training, but this was unfortunately to no avail. The final reply from the police came on the 14th of January 2020, and it read this: "I have received your email and I have forwarded it on to another traffic sergeant for another opinion. Please allow a week for my reply." Nothing has been heard since. Now, I'm always going to take a balanced, subjective view. Let me just put this scenario to you. Now, imagine if the police had responded. I've only got emails from the 14th of January, but what if they have responded and our cyclist is still feeling a little bit disgruntled and he wants a little bit of vengeance on this driver? Well, this could be the case, and I'd like you to keep that in mind before you make any of your own opinions on it. But for me, there's nothing in all of the evidence that I've been actually given that's going to say to me that that's actually the true story. For me, I think it's all down to this driver and the lack of police response.
I know my rights. I used to be a police officer, okay?
Well, if you would please put anything to do with the police, how come you don't know your rights?
What's your thoughts on her claim that she used to be in a police force? For me, it's a little bit of a funny one. It sometimes can be used by people who are trying to get that one up on the person that they're arguing with, sort of like a little bit of a poor poker hand. But I actually think she probably was. And the reason being is, even though she dealt with this collision and this road traffic accident poorly, or terribly, I will add, the two stories from her and Cheshire Police in their investigation seem to tally. Now, is it something that I totally don't know about? Is it something that I've missed? I would be really grateful if Cheshire Police could enlighten me. And something else that I would like Cheshire Police to answer is this: if this has been done purposefully, which I think it has, and injuries have occurred, why wasn't this treated as an assault? Let me know what you think. Keep safe, everyone, and I hope to see you soon.